I know. Shit, I've been working on it.
Looks darn good.
Oh, you mean the broadcasting?
Yeah, the clarity of the video, because you can see all your craters and all the things that are wrong with you.
Dude, you look at me way too close. This scares me.
Don't be scared. We're live
Just
on
scares.
YouTube.
What's up, YouTube? Great to see you.
Live on Facebook.
What's up, Facebook? Great to see you too.
And now we are live on the TikTok. You got the one and only Chris, and up there is Lee. Say hi, Lee.
What's Hi, Lee. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what you want me to do.
Yeah, it was.
Hi, Lee.
It worked.
All right, it worked.
It kind of
Cool.
worked.
So what are we up to, man?
Dude, the exciting news that you've seen all over social media, all over the freaking internets. Tell him, Lee. Tell him.
The Fed paused.
What?
So they got all excited. Everybody got all geared up. They're like, hey, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Nothing.
Nothing.
Everyone, yeah! Yeah!
Nothing.
Nothing! Wait, what? Yeah, nothing.
Why nothing?
Wait,
what
what?
happened? Dude, what happened?
It's actually not bad. It's a pause.
Dude, what happened though? What does that mean to the world? The world needs to know.
Well, the CPI, Consumer Price Index, is kind of doing what we hoped it would do and getting better. So that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
And then the unemployment rate came in, and it didn't come in like we wanted it to, but it came in probably better than it could be. I mean, it could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was an expectation that we might drop rates, and then there was a bigger expectation that we might raise rates. But the gambling men were saying 98% at the end, 98.5% that the Fed would maintain the pause. So the pause means that there's a cycle. It goes up like that, then it pauses, and it goes down. So we've been on the up cycle for a very long time. And Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, won't quite commit to the pause yet. He won't exactly say it's the pause at the moment. And he's got a lot of weight on his words, so he's got to be very cautious with the words, very cautious.
Do you think he's trying to hedge against a wave, a boom, trying to slow it so it doesn't all creep in at once?
I don't think. I know, because if you follow some of the history economically, we are set up for a cataclysmic crash. Not like a little crash. Like, holy smokes, this currency is gone crash. That's kind of how we're set up. And there's some guys that are actually banking on it. The scary ones are like Ray Dalio and Warren Buffett. Probably richest men in the world, or they control a lot anyway. And these guys are actually saying, hey, listen, in 24, there is going to be a gigantic, unbelievable crash in America. Remember that America is only 4% of the globe, although we control a large portion of the economy, the global economy. And that's the whole point behind BRICS right now, is we're trying to get the American backbone to not be the backbone of the globe, because right now we are too big to fail at the moment. And what they're trying to do with BRICS is take us out of the scenario where we're too big to fail. So then you zoom back into America, and there's been many countries, economies that have over-leveraged, like really over-leveraged. And when they're over-leveraged to a certain point, they collapse. I mean, like millions of dollars, you could have millions in your pocket, and it's not worth anything, And this has happened in the past. And we are kind of set up on the precipice of this. And Fed Powell right now is trying to go, okay, hold on, let's not. So is he trying to avoid a monster, mammoth crash? Yes, absolutely, no question about it. If you study it, there's one side who says there's no way America will ever fail. There's no way the dollar will ever fail. And I think they're wrong. And then there's another side that says this is absolutely going to crash. It's absolutely going to fail. I think they're wrong too. And Jerome Powell's kind of the speaker of the group that's leading the party that's walking on the volcano's edge. And he's doing okay. I won't say great, I think he's made a lot of poor choices. I think that's the best thing, but it's armchair quarterback, man. If you can't throw better than Tom Brady, don't be criticizing Tom Brady.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of where Fed Powell's at. But what it does is it affects all of our livelihood. It's like you and I were in the mortgage industry, and we do mortgages, and it affects the Fed funds rate. Mm-hmm. It's not an actual direct effect. The Fed funds rate is the rate that banks borrow at overnight, and the rate that banks lend at when they go to lend for automobiles, credit cards, and stuff like that. Not for mortgages. Mortgages are based off the 10-year yield, but it does have a big effect on it. And when the economy's shaky, there's a lot of uncertainty. And because of the uncertainty, it puts us in the spot where we're at. But anyway, we've been watching the rise, and it's been rising. And then now we're at the pause, but they won't commit to the pause. So think of a roller coaster. So you go roller coaster up, and then that suspense point where the whole train is on the pause, but we're not going up anymore, but we're not quite going down either. Well, that's kind of where we're at. We're hoping, but they won't commit to it just yet. They won't commit to we're in the pause. In fact, Fed Powell says we believe there's a possibility that we could raise rates another 25 basis points, but nobody believes him. He's got to say these things just so that people don't overreact and overcorrect. And when he said that, we're like, everybody's like, that's full of crap, man. Nobody believes that. The market doesn't believe it. Nobody believes it. So the next question is, if we're in the pause, when does the actual pivot happen? And the pivot is when you're going down on the roller coaster. So the pivot, we're guessing right now, some optimistic people are saying at the March meeting. And I think it's 25% chance or 50% chance. I don't remember that right now. But by the June meeting, it's 90% chance that we're going to be going down the hill on the roller coaster, to maintain that metaphor. So that's what happened yesterday.
Yeah. So, I mean, it all seems very staged, I think. I mean, my opinion, because I had an opinion about maybe a year and a half ago, that the rates were going to correct during the election year. And then as we start, a quarter ago, call it 3 months ago, we were still having rate increases. And I'm like, holy shit, we are not going to have a decrease when the election is really running in that year. But it looks like that's what's kind of happening. So it looks like
you're talking about the midterms, right? The midterms?
No, I'm talking about the primary. So
the primary. Okay.
Yeah. So when that comes about, November next year, the economy is going to be looking pretty decent. I think there's going to be people buying houses. There's going to be money moving. There's going to be a lot of things happening, and the economy is going to be a little more straight. But Biden isn't running. I don't think Biden's running. So I think they're going to.
You're about to light a firestorm, dude.
Well, I think they're going to straighten out the economy for the Democrats. Like, hey,
So?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I didn't see it 3 months ago, but it's becoming more clear now, I think.
Well, do you know when the actual declaration has to happen for that?
Tell me. What do you
explain
what you're
DNC
asking?
Meeting. Well, the DNC, which is a group, it's a party, they have to choose their candidate. Biden's not automatically the candidate. They have to choose the candidate. And at the DNC National Conference, that's when they actually choose it. So there's a theory that they're going to choose Biden, and then Biden now has the ball. So now Biden is the guy. But Biden gets to say, I bow out, and I'm going to give it to Gavin Newsom. Because if not, they got to run Gavin Newsom.
Well,
and if they run Gavin Newsom, he might not make it because California is not the most popular state in the country. It's the most popular state to Gavin Newsom, but it's not the most popular state in the country. And if he actually runs on the DNC ticket, there's going to be a bunch of people trying to oppose him, like Kennedy. Kennedy's going independent. Mm-hmm. But there would be a lot of Democrats. There's a guy out there, his name is Joe Manchin, and he's a Democrat, but he's a Democrat with a Republican edge. And so he appeals to a lot of Republicans, and he's kind of a middle guy. He's a pretty cool guy. He's pretty cool at voting anyway. So the theory is that Joe Biden's going to take it all the way to the primary, and then at the primary, he's going to go, thank you, I'm honored, but I've decided to spend more time with my family. And because of that, I am moving that we bring in Gavin Newsom. And then at that moment, just like when Hillary endorsed Barack before they did a vote, I don't know if you know that one, but that was a crazy one. They actually called for a quorum. You got to go back 12 years or whatever. They called for a quorum in the middle of the DNC because it was like a dead heat between Hillary and Barack. And Hillary said, I move that we just support Barack Obama. And somebody else said, I second the move. And they literally had enough people to call a quorum, and they made an official vote in the middle of a crowd, and nobody even knew that happened. They just think that Barack just accidentally landed up with it. Oh, no, it was well planned, very well planned. So because I've seen that happen in the past, I do believe that can be happening with Gavin and Biden. Because, dude, in a toe-to-toe debate with anybody, especially against Kennedy, I think Biden will fold like a paper cup.
Oh, come on, man. That's what he'll say all through the whole thing. Oh, come on, man. You locked down the country for no reason. Oh, come on, man. Pony boy, dog face. What's going on? What do you mean what's going on? Our country's divided, man. It's divided. We're in trouble. We got people saying don't buy houses. We got people saying buy houses.
Millions of viewers. Are we live on all of them? Are we live on Instagram?
No, we're not live on Instagram.
I lost you. What? No. Dude, we're not live on the gram.
Not live on the gram. Live on TikTok. Live on YouTube, Facebook, but not the gram. Poor gram. I feel bad for them.
The coolest thing happened, and I don't know how many viewers we have right now, but when I got off the plane, I got notified during it's a 2-hour 30-minute flight. When I got off the plane, I got notified that we made 2 more sales.
Yeah.
So just like out of the blue, I landed and we made more money because of our side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm really excited because like we're not one of these really, really, really successful side hustlers yet. Not yet. But because of that, we have the ability to help people one-on-one. And I really want to dig in with the people that have joined on whichever ones you've joined on. There's a bunch of them. I think we got Roadmap yesterday. Whichever one you join on, I want to actually help you get successful in that venue. It's not a easy thing. I'll talk with this person some point in the future, and I'll walk them through as they're going through it. But it's 88 hours of study and a lot of practicals and building things and subscriptions and understanding. And I really want to help these people. So I got excited that we made some side hustle sales, and we're helping people out, man. It's pretty cool.
Yep. And those of you who need to buy houses, you guys need to get pre-qualified. You guys don't understand what's happening right now. If you're on social media, you need to look at all the posts from your agents, look at all the posts from your colleagues, and everyone is saying, rates are coming down, rates are coming down. But what are the values of the houses doing? Where's that crash, guys? Where's that plummet in these values and the deal that you're looking for? It's not coming. It's not coming. So if you haven't started your side hustle yet to try to make extra money, you're in trouble because these values are skyrocketing. Or start your side hustle, go hard, make a ton of cash, and buy any house you want. I mean, there's so many different ways that you guys could potentially go with this. So many different ways. But the news is out. Rates are going to come down. Values are going to skyrocket. If you wanted to buy a house, you should probably look into it now because you could miss the boat. I know there's a lot of people that are on that line. And you don't know it, I know it because I'm in the business. But that line means that you could buy a house right now. You could. But if you wait and the prices jump too much, then you're not going to be able to. Unless you get a cosigner. Unless you make extra income. Unless you get that side hustle started. You're not going to be able to qualify. It's a very interesting spot in our business because, one, we're going to see a little bit of a boom. Two, we're going to be very busy, but behind that is another one of these. I don't know if it's a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, but when Lee talks about a crash that the experts are talking about that's going to be coming, that's a few years down the road, but it's probably coming. And if you don't have things set up for you, like a house, like a way to make money, you could be in a lot of trouble. What do you think, Lee?
Well, there's a guy I follow, Clearview Tax. If you haven't seen this guy, it's great. He's a CPA, and he talks about the economy. And he's not in the loan business, not in the real estate business. He's in the accounting business. And because of that, he's got no real dog in the hunt, which is a big deal. Like some of the guys I follow are in real estate or in lending. They got a dog in the hunt. They want it to lean a certain way. And because of that, they kind of skew their talk to that. So when I look at, it's Clearview Tax, I think that's what it is. Just put it in YouTube and you find him. But he said, hey, listen, 24 is just the beginning of the downturn. It's the beginning of the roller coaster descent. 25 is going to be where the real stuff is happening. And at that point, we believe it's going to gain a lot of speed, and we're going to have another economic boom, like a boom.
So 24 is good and 25 is fantastic?
Yeah, 24 should be. Well, the Fed actually committed to 150 basis points, and one of the Fed members said up to 275 basis points. But most of them, the majority, say 150 basis points over the calendar year of 24, which is 4 decreases, 25 basis points per decrease. That's usually what they do. Occasionally, they'll do 50. During COVID, they drop 50 just so they can get control of the economy. But they've been using the QT, which is quantitative tightening, and the Fed funds in order to get a handle on the economy. But there's a certain spot where you choke it out and it's not going to go anymore. And we're fearing that we may be there. So that's why they've committed, or not committed, but suggested, I think that's a better word, suggested that they're going to do 4 decreases in the 24 year, and then in 25, it's going to be a roller coaster. But this is a cycle. Remember, it's always a cycle. It goes up, down, down, and then up, down, which means we are going to have another really tight economic time frame. Some experts are predicting it at 28 to 30, which is the end of next presidential year, the end of next presidential run. But this is the cycle, and what it means to our viewers, to our customers, to our clients, to our friends, is houses are going to become more and more affordable from an interest rate perspective, but there's going to be a massive demand, which means the price is going to go up. And you would think that the interest rate compensates for the price, and it kind of does to a degree. But if you're thinking about buying, the better time is right now. If you're waiting to say, hey, I'm going to wait till the interest rates go down to 5s or 4s, and they will, I believe that they will. I think they'll hit 5s by 24, prime 5s. Right now we're showing 5.75, but that's a perfect scenario with a buy down. I'm talking everybody's getting 5s. I think that'll happen by the end of 24, and we might even be in the 4s in 25. But at that point, there's going to be so much demand again that the supply can't keep up, and the prices are going to skyrocket. It's going to make things unaffordable again. Now they're unaffordable because of purchase price and because of inventory, instead of unaffordable because of interest rate. Because if you can actually qualify with interest rate, then it's not unaffordable for purchase price. It's unaffordable for interest rate. You should buy because you can refi the interest rate. You can't refi the purchase price. Once you locked in, that's what it is.
Imagine having the ability to almost predict making $250,000 in the next 2 to 3 years. Imagine having that ability. And I think that's kind of what we're holding right now when it comes to houses. I mean, if you witness 2020 and 2021, you've seen a lot of people gain $250,000 in equity in that 1 to 2 years. In that 1 to 2 years. And that with pent-up demand, which is the people that are on the sidelines, with the 33 rule, which is at the age of 33, individuals start moving out of their parents' house and start buying their own houses. The people who naturally gravitate to home ownership, the people who are looking for a deal, the people who are looking for a better rate, the people who are just getting their job out of college. I mean, there's all these different verticals of groups of people that are going to buy. Now, with all that, putting that and looking at 2020 and 2021, if you bought a house right now in the neighborhood of about $500,000, you'll probably make $250,000 in the next 1 to 2 to 3 years. And if you're a planner,
how do you know that? How do you know that?
Because I own houses, I own homes, and I know what equity is inside of them. Now, That being said,
Okay.
if you're a planner, let's just say that you're like one of those guys who is planning for the end of days, okay? Literally planning for the canning food, building a bomb shelter, whatever it may be. That person could invest in a house, sit on it for 1, 2, 3 years, cash out $250,000, take that $250,000, buy himself a plot of land in the middle of nowhere, build himself a house in the middle of nowhere, build himself a way to have water, electricity, food, be sustainable, and protect himself. And all he has to do is invest a little bit of money today and wait a couple years, and he's going to have his dream. And that's just...
start taking notes. I think you got a good plan here. I'm gonna write this down.
I mean, that's insane, right? That's insane.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time we've talked about it or heard it. In fact, we know people who are in the middle of executing that exact strategy, but it does boil down to understanding the economic features of what's going on right now, the interest rate, 5.5 Fed funds rate, and New American Funding says the perfect interest rate is 5.75 for an FHA 30-year fixed. If you go onto the website, you can see it at the top of our profile. Just go to the top, go to links, go to cool stuff. You'll see the interest rates, and you'll see today's interest rates. It's 5.75 on FHA, but it is a perfect file. It's an 800 FICO score with 24 DTI and 40% down. That's not a usual file that we finance. The file that we usually finance is 50% DTI, 3.5% down, and 680 FICO score.
So I'm gonna try to coin a new saying, and it's not clear. It's take advantage of what is. Take advantage of what is. So, for instance, when NFTs came out a couple years ago, there was people at the very beginning who kind of understood the opportunity and made a ton of cash. Like, I don't know if Beeple was one of them, but Beeple made $100 million in NFTs. So,
dude, he was one of them. That's such a crazy thing. He sold one NFT for $70 million.
Yeah, but he's an artist that's been doing it for years. So he didn't gear up to sell NFTs. He's just a badass artist who was able to take advantage. But there was young people that were out there going, hey, these NFT things, let's take advantage of what it is at the moment, and made a lot of money. Or Bitcoin, or back in the 90s, Pogs, or back, there's always these opportunities that came out that were very short-lived, very short-term, but a group of people seeing what could come of it, took advantage of it, and got mega rich off of it. I see that in real estate right now. And maybe it's not mega rich, because if you bought Bitcoin, you put in $5, which at the time was hundredths of a penny per unit of Bitcoin, which could equate to potentially millions and billions of dollars in the future. So that's just $5. To buy a house takes much more than that. It takes a down payment, takes you having good credit history, takes you having work history, discipline, all kinds of things. But many people already have that. And like I said, if you just invest that down payment of 3.5%, which could be somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000 to $15,000, you could make $250,000 by doing nothing, just making your mortgage payment. And that's insane. The ability to predict that is insane, and it's coming. It is coming. Now, it's not for sure, but just looking at history, it's coming. I like it. I like it, man.
I agree, man. And the fact that the Fed did not raise rates yesterday, that's very good for us. That's very good. I mean, you know that our mortgage applications have been going through the roof lately.
Yep.
We've been getting them online. We've got more people calling us. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Old clients that have said, hey, I was thinking about buying a second home or renting out my primary residence and buying another house. We're getting that more and more and more. That's because the rates are starting to come down, and it's going to start to affect buying power and your ability to do things. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good shit, man. That's very cool stuff. It's exciting. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited because our side hustle business is starting to take off. I'm excited because real estate is starting to come back. And all that means to Lee and I is more headaches. That's all that really means is more headaches. But we're ready for them.
We volunteer for the headaches, man. It's good stuff.
We're like, how do we get a new headache, Lee?
Yeah, how do we get a new headache and a new boat? Don't forget the boat part.
How do we
That's what make the headache That's what makes the headache worth it.
But that's what the headache creates. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Boats,
absolutely.
more money, more
Dude,
problems.
I was so thrilled when I landed. For those who just joined, I'm in my house in Texas. This is Texas in the background.
Is that your property in the background?
No, it's not my property. I'm out in the kind of the wilderness forest, but everywhere in Texas is the wilderness forest. So when I landed and I opened up my email because I was on airplane mode. I opened up my email and I go, bing, you have a new client, a new sale. Bing, you have a new sale. And I landed and I was like, dude, that's amazing. I just come off the flight, I don't know, what is it, $1,000 or something. And we're like, hey, bing, bing, sale, bing, bing, sale. And I'm just like, you know how it started? It started, I don't know, 2 months ago, a little bit longer than that. And we're not killing it. In fact, we're just above break even with all the marketing expenses. And we go a little heavier than most. We have our own websites. We got
Staff.
tech guy. We pay for a lot more. We're probably about break even. But it's cool because it's happening all the time. And we're able to help people do the side hustle and buy the house.
Yep. They go hand in hand. That's what I really love about it is that it's not totally separate. We're not making sandwiches and changing oil. We're doing something that goes together, complements it, and when it doesn't complement it, it's still independent and still good. And then when things are good, it complements it again. So they're not polar opposite. So actually, I take that back. A sandwich shop and an oil change business might be a good one because they have to wait a little while for the car and they could buy a sandwich in the meanwhile. Anyways.
They both use vinegar and oil.
They use
properties with ADUs qualify for DSCR.
Team Sanchez in the house.
Team Sanchez. So maybe the answer is maybe if the ADU is fully permitted and it's done correctly and it's all good with the city, maybe. That's the answer. Maybe. ADUs are this new thing that not everybody has figured out yet. It's accessory dwelling unit. It's a mother-in-law house basically. But the state of California is getting big on the ADUs, and they even got a Cal HAFA program now to help with the ADUs, where they give you $40,000. It's not an easy loan, but they give you $40,000 to help build your ADU. ADUs are a big deal because they see it as the way to address the housing crisis.
Here's what's cool about that, guys. Let me touch on that. I'm glad Lee brought that up. So let's say that you're buying a house and you're house shopping, okay? And there's an accessory dwelling unit in the backyard or attached to the house, mother-in-law quarters, some people call it, an apartment on the lot, whatever you want to call it. It's an ADU. Here's what's cool. Let's say that you're shopping in the price range of $400,000, okay? And you see this house for sale for $500,000. It has an ADU on it, but you're like, but we can't afford that because it's $500,000, not $400,000. Here's what we can do. Here's the new guidelines. Is that let's just say that you could potentially rent that unit for, let's call it $1,000, okay? You can rent that accessory dwelling unit for $1,000. Because it exists, I can give you potential rents of 75% of that $1,000, which means I can add $750 to that loan, to that file, and increase your purchase power to $500. So what that means to you is that you can actually buy that house. You have a money-making opportunity, a potential renter, or maybe you're going to throw your mother-in-law in it. Regardless, it's an opportunity that you guys didn't have before that you absolutely have now. And we got about 10 minutes until we got to wrap this bad boy up, Leader and the Finance Man.
I actually got to get going now, so I can go ahead and finish.
All right.
Help people, teach them about our side hustle, tell them about how they can buy a new house, and greetings from Texas. We'll do it again real soon, all right?
Secure us some property down there, man. We got to move out here soon.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay? Thank you all.
Lee's out, guys. It's just Chris Dominguez, Leader and the Finance Man. He's leaving, but that's okay because we're here to answer all your questions. And back to the way we started this live today. Rates. We're talking about rates. So the Fed spoke yesterday. It was fantastic news. Everyone across the board is happy. Barry Habib's happy. Logan Mashami's happy. Everybody's happy because it's lending itself to lower interest rates in 2024. It's here, guys. I've been telling you for months and months and months that if you want to buy a house, get pre-qualified now. Get into it now because when rates go down, the values are going to skyrocket. And when the values skyrocket, that pushes a lot of people out of qualifying range. Now, it may balance. So let's just say that today you qualify for a $500,000 house. with a $4,500 mortgage, okay? Now, let's say the rates go down and that house price goes to $600,000, but the rate went down. So your mortgage payment might still be $4,500. The difference is you paid $100,000 more for that property. So let me ask you this. If you're going to have a $4,500 payment regardless, do you want an extra $100,000 in your equity, or do you not want an extra $100,000 in your equity? And if you don't, that means that you can buy whenever you want. But if you do want to make that extra 100 grand, whether you're going to use it or not, then you need to move forward now. Okay? You need to get pre-qualified now. We need to figure out what the problems with your file potentially are now, so that when you are ready, you're able to buy. Also, if you're just thinking about buying, we can let you know exactly where you stand. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with knowing exactly where you stand. We do a little bit of work, a little due diligence. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't impact you negatively, but you get an opportunity to see exactly where you stand, and if you can buy, how much you can buy up to, and if you can't buy, we'll let you know what the challenges are and help you solve them so you can buy tomorrow. That's the name of the game, guys. We're in this to do home loans. We're in this to help as many people as like you as possible, and that's with doing the home loan. That's with doing these lives and sharing information about home loans, and also helping you with side hustles. So getting you to make money on the side that you can use to buy a house. Now, the side hustle money sometimes turns into big money, depending on how much effort and time you're putting into it, and sometimes can take over your primary job. Okay? Sometimes that happens. I'll give you an example. So, of this side hustle that we do online digital marketing. Digital marketing means you're doing it on digital platforms like a phone. Okay, you're online, you're on social media, that's all digital. Okay, that's digital marketing. We also do affiliate marketing. What is affiliate marketing? Well, I'll give you an example. Let's say that, I used this yesterday, but let's say that I went to a party and someone said, hey man, I like that Yeti cup. I want one just like it. And I'm like, cool. And I send them a link to buy it. Well, that link is affiliated to me and potentially the company that I could work with. Okay, I don't work with Yeti, but just letting you guys know. So what that means is when now my friend goes to buy that for, let's call it 25 bucks. Let's say that Yeti's selling this for 25 bucks. Because it came through my affiliate link, I make a commission on that. So I get a portion of that 25 bucks. So how does it work? Well, someone got a cool product that I was able to promote and share with them. Yeti made money because they sold the cup. I made money because I married the two. And my friend gets a cool cup because he thought it was cool and he wanted it too. So it's a win-win for everybody, okay? So online digital marketing, affiliate marketing is what we do. Now, one of our mentors that we follow makes a ton of cash doing this. Probably the biggest earner that I've ever seen. You probably heard me say it. She made $40,000 in 1 week. So that's what I mean. I think, if I remember correctly, she was a teacher. Don't quote me on that, but I think she was a teacher, making a very good 6-figure income. Then started side hustling, making a couple $100 here and there, making a couple $1,000 here and there, to the point of where it was making way more money than her teaching job. So now she does this as her primary. So sometimes it can take over. Most of the time it probably won't, because you're not going to put the time and energy into it that it needs in order to get to that level. But if you are making an extra $500 a month, who's barking at that? I would love to make an extra $500 that I didn't have before, or $100, or maybe $5,000 a month. So it's up to you. It's like anything else. What you put into it, you get out of it. But once, like I said with Lee, it's a full circle situation for us. So the only reason why we're doing this is to help people get into houses. We have a national platform. We're in 49 states. The only state we don't finance in is New York. We used to not do Hawaii, but now we do Hawaii. So we do 9 states. The only state we don't do is New York. I apologize, New York. I would love to, but we just don't. We love New York. We just don't. Okay. So that being said, our side hustle allows people to make extra money so that they can afford the prices of the houses. Houses are already expensive. Once the rate starts coming down, which looks like they are, they're going to skyrocket. These prices are going to get much, much higher. And I feel bad because a lot of people won't be able to afford it on their own. They might have to buy a house with their cousin. They might have to buy houses with their friends or their parents, which is already a very common thing. I financed a house not long ago where it was daughter, mother, father. Daughter, mother, father. 4 people in together to buy a house in LA. Almost $1 million property. 4 incomes in order to make that happen. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing. You do what you got to do. Plus, a lot of families like to stay together anyway, okay? A lot of the cultures like to stick together and raise their families together and, that type of thing. Keep it close-knit, take care of each other, help each other, which is a good thing. But if you want to be out on your own and you want to buy your own house, maybe your own little bachelor pad, or maybe a little house to start with you and your significant other or your family, whatever it may be, is very tough. So incomes are not rising at the prices of houses as fast as the price of houses, okay? And plus, most people are plugged into an organization. So I'm a loan officer. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a loan officer business and other businesses on the side. So I make money different ways. I don't clock in. The boss man's not telling me what to do or when, how much I'm going to make. But majority of our country is that way. So you work at Amazon. You have a boss. That boss says clock in at this time. The boss says that you leave at this time. The boss sometimes gives you opportunity for overtime. So take it if you can because you'll make extra money. But if the boss isn't offering it or isn't handing out the raises that you need to buy these houses, what do? Get another job? Maybe. Go back to school? Maybe. Learn a new trade? Maybe. Side hustle? Maybe. There's a lot of different routes to go. So we cut out college. We cut out 2 to 4 years to get a degree. We cut out learning a new, getting trained for a new position, because the truth is when you do this, the roadmap to riches, the roadmap to riches is basically a university. You are going to get an education. You are going to sharpen your tools when it comes to online digital marketing. You are going to learn things that you probably don't already know. So it is another profession. The difference is you're doing it at your pace versus going to school for the next 4 years and doing it at their pace. So what that means to you, you could potentially make money inside of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, not 4 years, then get a job. Or worse, be an attorney 7 years, then get a job, and then you got to try to find clients. Or worse, doctor 10 years, then get a job and try to find clients. You can actually do it inside of 1 year. The person that we followed, the person I talk about, made $40,000 in 1 month, or 1 week. Sorry about that. She's been doing it for, I think, 18 months. 18 months made $40,000 in 1 week. Not a bad gig. Not a bad university to go to. But that's it, guys. I'm done for now. I'm Chris. That person that was up there was Lee. We'd love to help you get into a home. If you're interested in buying, financing a home, give us a call. Screenshot this. Or if you're interested in getting yourself started on a side hustle, screenshot this. Let me know. Reach out. We'd love to help. But that's it for now, guys. Make it a great day, week, weekend, whatever you're doing.